Funeral will begin in just 30 minutes from now. But Kris Habermehl is in Chopper 2, keeping an eye on the procession from above. And Kris, let's start with you. We know you were up in Chopper 2 on March 1st after this tragedy.
Well, we are now in the first part of taking Officer Vasquez Lasso home. Star 7649, it's time to say goodbye. And we're traveling now in this solemn procession eastbound along 103rd. We've just entered Evergreen Park, crossing over Kedzie just a short time ago. We passed Queen of Martyrs and saw all the students out there and staff showing their support, as we have been seeing area residents from Oak Lawn, where we left Blake Lamb Funeral Home a few minutes ago, and have now made our way into Evergreen Park. Going to be in Beverly here shortly. This procession will be traveling east along 103rd, north on Western Avenue up to St. Rita's, which is up at 77th and Western. The streets have been blocked off the entire route, and a lot of people have come out here. Now, this procession is not a very large procession, very solemn and very concentrated. It's a lead escort vehicle, and then you've got the 4 motor patrol motorcycles that are guarding the hearse, 2 in front, 2 in back. 2 limos carrying family members immediately behind the hearse, and carrying family, close personal friends, fellow officers, the honor guard, people that need to be in close personal contact with the casket as it is taken to St. Rita's. Also above, we have our friends in Police 2 escorting at low level in the helicopter over the top. And we can see those transport vans now are getting ever closer to making the turn onto Western Avenue, where we will be in the final approach phase to go north on Western Avenue to get up to St. Rita's. Now, as we've been watching this, the one thing that you mentioned, Audrina, is that we've been here since the very early stages of this, when this was still a very new and tragic story that was playing out in Gage Park. And the thing that should be remarked on here, and you can see that the fire companies are formed up here as we're making the turn off of 103rd northbound onto Western Avenue, is that from the very time that Officer Andrés Mauricio Vásquez Lasso was called to duty, and that call in Gage Park last week, that from that very moment, from having a partner to shots exchanged, to being en route to the hospital, at the medical examiner's office, the funeral home, now en route to St. Rita's, and then onward to his final rest, this officer has never been alone. He will never be alone. And once he is brought to his final rest, that escort is going to shift. And Officer Vasquez Lasso will then ride along with his brother and sister officers for all time. So we're watching this procession now as we're going through Evergreen Park, getting up towards Beverly now, northbound on Western Avenue, getting up back towards 95th Street. They'll be coming into the shopping area here before too long, getting into the city of Chicago. And in silent tribute all along, you will see dozens, hundreds of American flags, the flags of the city of Chicago, banners from the Chicago Police Department, men with their hands over their hearts, those who are in uniform as public servants standing rigid at attention, and a hand salute as a hero passes by. So, Officer Andrés Mauricio Vásquez Lasso, we're saluting you from every angle. This city is in mourning. We grieve along with your family for the brothers and sisters of law enforcement, all public servants, whether you're in the police department, the fire service, EMS, whether you're a first responder or a last responder, everyone out there knows what you're going through. We can only imagine the pain. We will try in our best way to pay tribute to you by bringing you these solemn scenes. And for those of you who are at home, who are watching this, hold your loved ones a little tighter. Life is not to be taken for granted. We do this, and there is a solemn ceremony that has been in place for a significant amount of time here, and will be for all time, as this officer is taken to his final rest. He gave the ultimate sacrifice in defense of those who are out there on the street, people who are calling for help. Officers of the Chicago Police Department and law enforcement the world around run to the scene of pain and sorrow and danger. And it is in that vein that everyone pays tribute to those officers. This is a stark reminder of what awaits you when you put on that badge, when you sign up, but they still do. And they come in droves, and they come to this great city of Chicago to do what they can to make it a little bit better every single day. And you will have heard it told time and again that officers of this great city, while their hearts were broken, they still got up in the morning, every minute of every day, 24/7, 365. They're out here for us. Chicago firefighters who are here, got an engine and a truck company that have formed up, and all along the route, the available companies that are here that take care of these particular districts are formed up to pay tribute. And it helps. I've been in a lot of fire and police funerals in my day. And being in a procession and looking out the window to see the pained faces of the people as you pass by, that helps. That's a thank you. That's a job well done. That's a we will take it from here. And so whether it is a fellow first responder or a citizen of this great city or the suburbs that form up, sometimes hundreds at a time, and you see some right now, hands over their hearts, they realize what has happened here. They realize the gravity of the sacrifice of this man's family. This man did the job. He was called to be there. He was called to help out. And regardless of circumstances, he did it to the best of his ability until he was able to do it no more. And as a symbol of that, this quiet, solemn ceremony as we take and follow this procession from the funeral home to St. Rita's of Kasha and then on to his final rest. You will see it repeated time and again, block after block, mile after mile. All along this 6-mile route there are people out here. All along this route there are people, sometimes standing shoulder to shoulder, stretched way out. And the family sees that, and it helps. Sometimes there are no words, and we will do our best to describe it for you, and we'll be right here with you. Star 7649, it's time to go home. Kris Habermehl, CBS 2 News.
Some very poignant words from Kris Habermehl there. Of course, the entire city in mourning for losing one of our officers sworn to serve and protect, who was gunned down in the line of duty a week ago.
Yeah, our coverage continues right